right, they're playing another movie. Wow, thought The Fast and the Furious had a lot of sequels. With Director of Cinematography, the Secretary of State. Does this mean if the film goes on too long, they just play it off with music? Only one? Traffic must have been a breeze! Well, I wouldn't let elementary school students on the road, but okay. Before removing a man's appendix, make sure his bed is made.
Now that you men have reviewed the lesson, you'll make the inspection before operation. Sergeant.
Whoa, blocking!
Take these 3 men with you. The rest of you, follow me.
Wow, driving school was intense back then.
All right, men. Let's start with this truck over here.
This is a truck, right?
First, look at the ground underneath the truck.
Feed the possums.
If any leaks, oil, fuel, or water have developed, that's where they'll show up.
Gravity is a fickle mistress.
Never move a vehicle until the leakage has been corrected.
I think my Shake Shack order's ready.
Next, check the amount of cooling liquid.
Push the asbestos out of the way. Our tax dollars at work.
And see that the air passages in the radiator are all open. Then,
Find someone to fix what I just did.
pull out the bayonet gauge. Check the amount of engine oil in the crankcase.
See, when a dipstick loves a car very much, he slides his...
Low, add more oil. Well, this is all right. Look over the engine for loose parts or loose electrical connections.
Make as many as you can.
The gas tank must be filled so that the gas is visible in the neck,
Okay.
thereby ensuring complete fueling and providing a rough check on the gas tank gauge.
Well, smoke break?
Okay, Adams,
Draw.
get in the cab and prepare to start the engine.
Drive me to TJ Maxx.
All right, now what?
Well, first we see that the parking brake is set,
Always have 2 baseball bats.
and make sure that all of the gear shift levers and the power takeoffs are in neutral.
Check.
Your rook's in danger.
Then set the hand throttle about 1/3 out so that the engine operates at twice its idling speed.
Quick game of pinball.
Set the choke, but do not use it excessively. Then turn on the ignition and disengage the clutch before stepping on the starter.
But first, the hand dryer. Sound of the engine will hide your debilitating flatulence.
As soon as the engine is turning smoothly in neutral, let up on the clutch.
It is important to warm up the engine.
Do some crowd work.
The engine is properly warmed up when, upon acceleration, there is no backfiring. And when the oil pressure needle remains below the maximum reading on the oil pressure gauge scale.
Hey, the Cubs are ahead.
Okay, Adams, what's next?
Then check the fuel gauge
That I made in art class.
and the functioning of all of the other dashboard instruments. Oh, while you're still in the cab, check to see that the fire extinguisher is full and in place.
Let it loosely roll around the pedals.
Check the windshield wipers.
Make sure they're cute but ineffective.
And that you have an accident report card.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Truck, your son is failing algebra. He's been idling through class and...
And a vehicle driver's permit.
Still writing 1941 on my checks, too. I think we should see other truck drivers.
What's next?
Even I can figure out what comes next. Blow the horn.
Thanks, Caleb!
And
And check the lights, including the stoplight.
Check the lights, including the stoplight. Check the lights, including the stoplight. Honey, I think if I can nail this line, really could make my career.
Okay.
My retina's gone.
Right.
Sir, are you Lou
As
Costello?
the engine warms up, shut down on the choke and continue the inspection before operation. Okay, Sergeant?
Right. Keep going.
Make sure the possum's water dish is full.
Of course, you listen to hear if anything sounds loose or noisy in the engine.
And make sure your life insurance policy is up to date.
And make sure that the fan is operating correctly.
Hey, the AC for my first apartment. Wise guy, eh?
Continue your inspection before operation by checking over the steering linkage and springs for loose, bent, broken, or missing parts.
I'm sure it's
All
fine.
the tires, including the spares, must be inspected for full inflation with an air pressure gauge. Fannin, you check the rear tires. Strickland, you check the tires on that side.
Look, now that we're alone, have you tried that new Thai place across the street? Yes, make sure that metal is inflated.
While you're up at the front, check the poppet latch on the winch to be sure that the plunger is down in the proper hole so that the winch cable will not unwind.
Kiss that hand
And
goodbye.
also check the front axle
Shut
for any evidence of shifting or lubricant leakage.
Which will happen in your 40s.
Nice work, Adams. Fannin, I'll give you and Strickland a chance later to show some of the things you've learned from your manual and our blackboard review this morning.
In the form of a puppet show.
See that the gas cans are full and secure.
Yeah, that's gas, all right. Ah, yes, the satisfying rattle of well-secured gas containers.
Check and secure the tools on the Pioneer equipment bracket.
Because we're going to the beach.
Check the springs, torque rods, and the rest of the bogie for any damage and loose or missing parts.
And if you're lucky, by the time the truck's ready, we've already won the war. Name the possums one by one.
If there are any trailing devices, be sure that the pintle is locked.
Jam your hand in every hole in the vehicle. And remember, the entire truck is held together by one cartoon safety pin.
At the same time, inspect the toolbox to account for all the tools issued.
Yeah, make sure it's organized like the trunk drawer in your kitchen. You know, soy sauce packets, strangely shaped batteries, and like 36 rubber bands. Oh, hey, my Pokemon cards. Yeah, then spread things out right under the wheel of the truck that just turned on.
Be sure to examine the wheel nuts to see that they are tight. And last, recheck the surface underneath the vehicle for any water, oil, or gasoline leakage that may have occurred after the engine started.
Speaking of dishonorable discharges, you're all fired.
Now I'll check the clutch, transmission, steering gear, and brakes by moving the vehicle a few feet to see that the basic controls are operating properly.
And I'm not sitting on any phone books if that's what you're thinking. Are we in Berlin now? Yeah, let's see the Germans do that, huh?
Now that truck over there has been inspected and the engine warmed up. It is set up on blocks to let you manipulate the controls and get the feel of it before you drive on the drill field. All right, Strickland, you try it first.
Because you love playing with blocks.
Then Adams and Fannin, you'll try it. First, you set the handbrake. Disengage the clutch. Turn on the key. Step on the starter.
Delete my wife's number from your phone.
Shift into first. Release the handbrake. Feed her some gas. Re-engage the clutch.
Do we ever do any actual fighting, or... The wheel, America's most ubiquitous invention.
All right. Adams, you take a crack at it.
I was the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
Re-engage the clutch.
Sorry, I reclutched the engage. Slacks the motion picture. Or what is it good for?
Shut her down, Fallon.
Want a piece of me?
Now I think you all are ready to drive the truck we finished inspecting a few minutes ago.
But unfortunately, the war is over.